Thank you for the invitation to speak before the committee. I'd like to assure the ranking member I'm not, in fact, auditioning for a job. Don't take this the wrong way, but with regard to immigration, at least, the title of the hearing is a little bit misleading. The Biden-Harris record on immigration is the result of neither incompetence nor failure. The largest border crisis in the history of our country, probably the largest such event in human history, began on January 20th, 2021 on purpose, not due to incompetence. Since that date, there have been more than 10 million encounters of inadmissible aliens at our borders, millions of whom have been and continue to be unlawfully allowed to enter the United States. This did not happen because the Biden-Harris administration and its impeached Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, made mistakes or miscalculations. That would have been bad enough and certainly a proper subject for congressional oversight, but would be excusable because we all have shortcomings, we all make mistakes. Rather, the ongoing border crisis is the result of ideology. There are only two ways of thinking about the immigration issue overall. Either no one in the world is allowed to come here, and then we make limited exceptions, or everyone in the world is allowed to come here with certain limited exceptions. So no one gets to come in with exceptions, or everyone gets to come in with exceptions. The Immigration and Nationality Act, of course, is based on the former perspective. No foreigner has a right to move here, but we, the people, decide there are specific grounds to admit a limited number of people. Maybe they have a relative here or a job skill or what have you. There are different opinions about how to do that. But they all are under one umbrella, basically, that immigration is a privilege granted by the American people. This administration's approach to immigration is based on the second view, the opposite view, that everyone in the world has a right to move here if they choose to do so, and the American people have no right to place limits on immigration apart from those related to basic safety, terrorists, criminals, deadly diseases, and even those limitations are highly circumscribed. Strictly speaking, this isn't open borders, though that description may do as a shorthand. Instead, I would describe the Biden-Harris approach to immigration as one of unlimited immigration that holds that any limits on the level of immigration are morally indefensible, and circumventing those limits by any means available is a moral duty. This is fundamentally contrary to federal law, of course, but also contrary to the Constitution and the very concept of sovereignty and consent of the governed. The fruit of that ideology is spelled out in detail in my written statement. The most common pretext for subverting the will of the people on limits on immigration is asylum, and the chief practical means of achieving unlimited immigration are unlawful releases from detention and unlawful grants of mass categorical parole. This unlimited immigration perspective also requires an inversion of the proper role of the executive. The allocation of authority in the INA is that the President has the power to keep out anyone he thinks should be excluded, but can let in only those who have been specifically authorized by Congress for him to admit. Due to this belief in unlimited immigration, the Biden-Harris administration's understanding is the precise opposite. They have acted for 3.5 years on the belief that the President may let in anyone he wants, but may keep out aliens only for very narrow reasons. Let me close with an example to illustrate this. The CBP-1 parole scheme seeks to funnel through the ports of entry inadmissible aliens who ostensibly otherwise would cross the border illegally. When this unlawful program was started in May 2023, DHS set the limit at 1,000 inadmissible aliens being given interviews per day. The next month, they increased the number to 1,250 a day. Later that same month, they increased it again to 1,450 a day. So it's more than 500,000 inadmissible aliens released into the United States. These numbers have no basis in law, nor did Congress even authorize the President to come up with his own number, as with refugee resettlement. The administration has simply made up numbers for how many inadmissible aliens to admit, based mainly on how quickly they can be processed and released, and feels free to change those numbers at will. This is illustrative of the Biden-Harris approach to immigration, which might be put this way: we can let in anyone we want, in any number, for any reason, and we dare Congress to do anything about it. This is not the way a self-governing people's immigration system should work. Thank you.